These folks are there about YouTube. That's why they're showing up. They want to get a little clip on YouTube in an effort to disrupt a town meeting and to send the congressman running for his car.
Illinois Democratic Senator Dick Durbin giving his analysis of what those opponents of the president's health care reform plan are up to at town hall meetings. And we're back now with the panel. So, Charles, the congressional town hall meetings continue, and so does the controversy.
Look, Democrats are out of control on this. You know, under Bush, dissent was the highest form of patriotism in America, and now it's a form of Nazi insurrectionism. Last year, if the community organizing was such a high calling that the Democrats elected him to the highest office in the land, and now if you organize a community, it's called a mob. Give me a break.
Well, I have to say it is strange messaging for the Democrats to be attacking citizens. I don't think that's usually a good way to go, and to complain about the poor little congressman getting yelled at. You know, I don't think most Americans are really going to get that upset about that. But I do think there's a lot of evidence that these are being organized by Republicans, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I think that the idea that an anti-war group organized an anti-war protest is fine, and the fact that the conservatives are unhappy with health care and they're organizing people to go to town halls is also fine. I just think that, you know, they need to maybe be a little more civil.
I was going to ask, Steve, any problem if the protesters become disruptive?
Well, I think the protesters should be respectful, but I don't have a problem with Democrats doing this. I mean, that's what politicians do. They make phony arguments to get people ginned up. My problem here is with the media. I mean, this is the White House talking point here. This is the Democratic National Committee. They're literally running ads about these things, accusing people of the mobs. And the media, rather than looking and seeking to understand what's frustrating so many people, millions and millions of Americans, is obsessed with the mechanics of who's putting together protests. It's really, I think, disgraceful.
Charles, growing reports that a U.S. missile took out Baytullah Masood, the top Taliban man in Pakistan and the purported mastermind of the Benazir Bhutto assassination. There's still about 15,000 to 20,000 Taliban fighters in Pakistan. So how important if we did take out the top man?
Knocking out one guy is not in and of itself important. He'll be replaced in a week. However, it sends a message: we know where you live, and we have the predators to kill you. And that means they're going to have to go underground and disrupt or hide communications, which will make their operations more difficult and less efficient, and that's at least some success.
I think it says a lot about what's going on in Pakistan, that the people basically have gotten fed up, and that was a problem, much like what happened in Iraq, when it took finally people in Iraq getting upset and saying, we don't want you in our country. The Taliban's overplayed their hand. They overplayed their hand in the Swat Valley. There was this YouTube video that went around of the 17-year-old girl being flogged, and you know, a lot of the elites and even regular people looked at this and said, we don't want the Taliban doing this across the country. And I think that now you saw more coordination going on to get rid of this guy.
Steve?
It's always better to have those guys dead than alive, but I don't think that this tells us a bigger story. I don't think things are turning around in Pakistan. I don't think it will have ripple effects in Afghanistan. Things there are as bad as we're reading in the press reports, and worse.
Less than 2 minutes left, and I should point out that Charles and Brett won. There's no round, much to my disappointment. Having said that, Charles,
we believe in civility and logical and quiet discourse.
I believe in time. The House and also tension. The House and Senate are now home for their August recess. President 6 months in office. Report card for Democrats on both ends of Capitol Hill.
Any Congress that passes the stimulus package, the largest piece of pork in American history, can't get a grade low enough. However, the fact that Congress is entirely stymied, inactive, incompetent, and unable to do anything important on health care is a plus. So it goes from execrable to merely appalling.
59, 58.
I would give them an incomplete. And I think I have a different approach on the health care. I think that they set that out as their #1 objective. They didn't meet the deadline. They've done a handful of other things, yes, but this is what everyone was looking at them to get done.
30, 29.
If you look at what they've done tactically, basically the president decided he was going to outsource his domestic policy agenda to Congress. They haven't done well. They passed the stimulus, but they can pass anything. They've got the numbers. There's no challenge there. They're struggling on cap and trade. They're struggling on health care. His domestic agenda is in peril, and they're to blame.
10, 9.
Oh, you want me to keep going?
No, that's fine. That's it for the panel. Here's the clock. And when we come back, justice is blind when it comes to the Supreme Court, or is it?